Good morning, everybody. Yes, it's time to do this thing again. You ready? Little bedroom session. Again, these are a little closer to me just rushing around the room, opening cabinets and saying, "Hey, look at that." Uh, I guess I get a little self-conscious. I mean, these aren't performances. They're like a folk session, except I'm kind of lonely. So I hope you will go and get the guitar, go and get the mandolin, go and get uh, the serpent. Anyone ever see someone play the serpent? It's a early bugle, like baritone bugle like instrument. Anyway, I'll shut up and play some music, shall we? I'm going to do the cards again, okay? The cards. We like the cards. I like the cards. The cards help me they help me get right with the universe cuz they're random, but they're also within the margins of what I find interesting. And let's get started with Ren Fair Anglo. Which basically, so I think the last one of these we did Ren Fair Mediterranean because there's a lot going on that side of the channel. Let's go across to England. When I say Ren Fair, I specifically mean to point up how, yeah, silly but fun a Renaissance festival is in the respect of they're not looking to stick to any particular time period. You walk around there and you're like, oh, look, there's some dudes dressed as Vikings. Oh, look, there's some dudes that look like they're in Pride and Prejudice. It gets a little silly how widely they interpret. And that's what I want to do. I want to widely interpret and silly interpret the expanse of folk music that existed before classical music became codified as music. Like, okay, Bach shows up at the end of the Baroque era, and he's not setting out to write the textbook. The textbook got written after him based on his genius. Like, he's a genius. He came up with wild and wonderful ways, intricate ways to, like, weave harmony, and then people who were, like, interested in how he did it kind of codified the rules, and it affected everything. It affected all folk. Suddenly folk musicians had to be like, oh gosh, I don't know, is it in major, is it in minor, what'll I do? Anyway, I'm already talking too much. Ren Fair, I'm actually going to interpret wildly. We're going to go past the medieval, past the Renaissance. We're going to go to Georgian England. So England when George was king, the many Georges. I think this actually probably dates to about the time of, the American Revolution. And it's a song that I first heard being done by a bunch of gnarly old English gents on a record. And I love the fact that they're obviously dudes, right? But they're singing, I am a brisk and bonny lass. And later on, I think it's the same crew of dudes got asked to do a more official record. They're like, oh, yeah. You guys are the bee's knees as far as British traditional. Like, we need to do a record just of you guys. And then they chose to do the same song, and they changed the lyric to, I am a brisk and bonny lad. And I'm like, no. No, you're not. Or rather, like, this song is from the perspective of a woman. So what's your problem? Are you afraid someone will doubt your manliness, considering you are a pretty grim and gnarly old dude, and we can tell instantly from the sound of your gravelly voice? I mean, yeah. I think that we should play more often with our identities. They are fluid and they are there for our enjoyment. So, yeah, more dudes singing girls' songs and vice versa. I'm going to try to do it in F, but I'm doing it pretty much unaccompanied. So, if you're trying to play along, it might be a bumpy ride. I am a brisk and bonny lass, free from care and strife. As sweetly as the hours do pass, I love a country life. At wake or fair I oft am there, such pleasures to be seen. Though poor I am contented and happy as a queen. I rise up in the morning, my labours to pursue, and with my yoke and milking pail I trudge the morning dew. I milk my cows and then I taste as sweet as nature yields. The lark it sings to welcome me across the flowery fields. And in the time of harvest, how cheerfully we go, some with hooks and some with crooks and some with scythes to mow. And when our corn is free from harm, we have not far to roam, but all away to celebrate the welcome harvest home. Yeah. I love that song. Yeah, more gender swapping folk, please. It's important and it's fun to see things from other perspectives. Here's the next card. Zunk. And since I went on a rampage about pre-classical, minor and major, pre-music theory. I mean, there's been music theory since the ancient Greeks, but our current accepted "this is how music works" really came together after Bach. And folk preserves the weird little fossils of the world before that. When I moved to Western North Carolina back in the year 2000, I had to learn a bunch of tunes. Had to learn a bunch of old-timey. I sort of understood there was a difference between old-timey and bluegrass, and so I navigated that divide. But really, it was like, what tunes are going to be most attractive to me, considering my main folk universe had been, up until that point, Irish. So I gravitated towards tunes like this, which are very modally, minory, majory, you don't know. Let's do two tunes nominally in A minor. Cold Frosty Morning and Kitchen Girl. Yeah. Yeah. That's Kitchen Girl. Wow. I have loved that tune for a long time. And I remember one day playing it in Guadalupe Cafe on Main Street in the little tiny town that I lived in the mountains, in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And a lady sitting at one of the tables was smiling. I was like, "Hi there, what's going on? I'm glad you like our music." She's like, "Do you know that he is the reason that you played that tune?" And she points to the gentleman she's with, older gent. And I'm like, "Really, really? Tell me more." And it turns out it was Alan Jabor, who is the folklorist fiddler who brought a number of these quirky, odd, modal West Virginia tunes out into the light of day, because he went around recording. He worked for the Library of Congress. I mean, I was in the presence of royalty, and I'm so glad she was smirking, because I would not have known. But yeah, apparently he was in town. They did a thing every year where they brought the old timers, the old folks of a particular mountain community. They came in power boats and picked them all up and brought them out to the island in the lake. There was a lake that had been formed by the TVA, by the Tennessee Valley Authority, in order to run hydroelectric turbines in a dam. They had dammed creeks and flooded valleys, and these folks had a graveyard that they could only access this one time a year when the government sent these boats to go get them. And Alan Jabor was there to just be a folklorist and go and talk with cool old mountain folk. I have no idea if that's still going on. I don't know. I don't know if there's any of them old folk left, really. You always got to keep track of these things. Next card. Okay, so according to the internet, the world is obsessed with sea shanties right now. That's fine. I'm not going to do one. I mean, I guess. No. I'm going to do I'm going to do an epic seafaring ballad. And it's a hilarious one because it's not. This song demonstrates the degree to which the carcasses of old ballads get picked apart and reprocessed. This one was obviously about a guy getting drafted in the middle of the night, conscripted into the army, and sent to the lowlands of Holland, where he was going to fight for the crown. But in this one, for some reason, he's still in his bed, but he's solicited suddenly by a sea captain who tells him that they're going to go hunt for whales. And I'm going to try to do it in A minor, like the tunes we just did, because I think of it as actually quite related. One night when I was married and laid in my marriage bed, there came a bold sea captain, and this to me he said, "Arise, arise, young married man, and come and go with me to the cold, cold coast of Greenland and the sperm whale fishery." Now Greenland is a dreadful place, a land that never was green. It's a wild inhabitation for a lover to be in, where the keen wind blows and the whalefish goes and the sun is seldom seen. Now the cold, cold coast of Greenland lies between my love and me. stocking shall I put on, nor comb go in my hair, nor shall I burn a candle all in my chamber fair. Neither shall I lie with any young man until the day I die, for the cold, cold coast of Greenland lies between my love and I. Yay. That was fun, right? That was fun. Um Speaking of songs from the perspective of different genders, that one gets to do both sides, which is nice. I love with that song I love. All right, so it's not the refrain. There's no refrain, there's no chorus, but in both the final verses he refers to the cold, cold coast of Greenland being between his love and me the first time because it rhymes with the line before it, and then I between. So it's just, to me, it's just cute. It's sort of like, oh yeah, you got to remember to change whether it's between my love and me and my love and I. Like, just keep in mind you're going to have to rhyme a thing with a thing. These are the little things I love about songs. Okay? Okay. Oh, the fiddle tune at the end there was the Scalloway Lasses, which is from the Shetland Islands. No, yes, the Shetlands. The Orkneys and the Shetlands are up there, the very, very top of the British Isles on the way to the North Sea, and I suppose to Greenland if you were going in that direction. What do we got? Ooh. Honky Tonk. I've been thinking about... All right, so honky tonk is a very wide. It's like Ren Fair. There's all kinds of things that could fall under that. It's basically any music you would have heard in a bar in the 20th century, I feel like. And it's honky tonk 1, so it should be on the earlier side, like before the 50s. I'm gonna sing Amelia Earhart's Last Flight, because I was thinking about the LP that I bought back. Actually, I think I bought it in a thrift store on Main Street in Silva when I first moved there. And I bought a bunch of very, folk, like, oh, yeah, I need to learn these fiddle tunes. Oh, look, there's Tommy Jackson. There's, I'm going to buy legit Western North Carolina folk music. Oh, and this thing, which was... it was a novelty vaudeville electric guitars psychedelic. I don't know. They were obviously the 60s. They were called Spanky and Our Gang. And they did a bunch of early jazz, jug band, folksy stuff. And I loved their version of this song. Obviously, this dates back long before the 60s. I think that it was written soon after the events in question, which were 1930s, late 30s, early 40s, Amelia Earhart. I've heard Western swing versions. I've heard bluegrass versions. Just a ship out on the ocean, just a speck against the sky. Amelia Earhart's flying past today. With her partner, Captain Noonan, on the 2nd of July. Her plane fell in the ocean far away. There's a beautiful, beautiful field, oh, far away in a land that is fair. Happy landings to you, Amelia Earhart. Farewell, First Lady of the Air. Just a half an hour later, an SOS was heard. The signal weak, but still her voice was brave. Over shark-infested waters, a little plane went down that day. In the blue Pacific to a watery grave. There's a beautiful, beautiful field far away in a land that is fair. Happy landings to you, Amelia Earhart. Farewell, First Lady of the Air. How often do you get to sing the line, shark-infested waters? Ah, beautiful. Thanks for coming along, folks. You never know what we're going to get into here on this show. Let's have some music, shall we? Time to pick another card? I think so. What shall we have? All right, so this one says polkas and waltzes and other North American fiddle tunes. I'm a simple man. We're just going to go with the first thing on that list. Let's have a polka. This is the Helena polka, and I realized that it's dangerously close to the polka we did a couple, maybe last week, the week before, The Joys of Quebec. In fact, I think that I have just discovered the thing I get wrong about The Joys of Quebec is actually because I'm trying to play this tune. There are greater sins in the world. Perhaps we can cover some of them later. This is the Helena polka, which polka is a fantastically weird. All right, like Ren Fair and Honky Tonk, it's a very wide field. I mean, obviously, it's a lot. You can't have polkas have to be bump cha, oompa. However, all kinds of people are doing that. I love Mexican polkas. There are so many different Eastern European identities bound up in the polka. Like the Poles I always thought the polka was a Polak dance, the polka. No, apparently it's not. Apparently it started in the Czech Republic, in Czechoslovakia, amongst the Czech people, Bohemia. Um, but I mean, you'll hear them all over Eastern Europe and beyond. There are Irish polkas. I'm not going to play you one. I'm going to play a very Great Lakes, very Lawrence Welk polka, the Helena polka. Oh, 3 parts, and then the parts are going to go first part, second part, back to the first part, third part, first, second, first, third, first, second, first, third. The third part repeats. It's twice as long as the other parts, and they each change key. So first G, A, back to G. No, I'm wrong. D, A, D, G, D, A, D, G. Hey, anybody who's not hanging out with a guitar, I'm sorry, I'm just chatting myself to pieces here. All right. That's not right. And again. To the top. I need to play that more often. Ooh, yeah. I love the 3-part. I love the 3-part tunes, and I love the 3-part polkas. But apparently, I need to remember my parts better there. The Helena polka. Going to Helena polka. Early ragtime and blues. But what do you mean? This card is a jazz card specifically, because there's lots of early ragtime and lots of blues, but I mean the stuff that the earliest jazz bands were doing, that were, starting that genre, like St. Louis blues and Basin Street blues. I'm going to do Basin Street Blues. It's going to be in the key of C. I'm telling myself this so I remember it. And something I love about Basin Street Blues is if you listen to the earliest Louis Armstrong version of this, you'd never know that it was the same tune. It's amazing. It's so gorgeous, but it's so not. It doesn't. You don't leave you don't leave singing the words in your head because they've totally just gone on this lovely exploration of it. I love when jazz avoids its melodies just as much as I love it when they linger on them. Well, won't you come along with me down the Mississippi? We'll take a boat to the land of dreams, cruise down the river down to New Orleans with the band there to meet us, old friends to greet us. They'll see the place where the friends all meet. Heaven on earth, they call it Basin Street. Oh, Basin Street, Basin Street. That's the place where old friends meet in New Orleans. Yes, the land of dreams. You never know how nice it seems or just how much it really means. Glad to be, whoa, yes, sirree, where those welcoming streets welcome me, and I can lose these Basin Street Blues. And I can lose these Basin Street. Yay. Yeah, Basin Street Blues. I'm trying to remember who I heard do that just recently that I was like, whoa, dig it. Yeah. Oh, well, I heard a version of Merle Haggard singing it, which was sort of a surprise. But it's because Merle Haggard was a big Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys fan, and they did a version of it. So, yeah, it's another one of these cases of America saw that jazz was its music and was amazed. It was in love. It wanted every piece of it. And then between just institutional racism and then an extra helping of racism, like country became the province of white people and jazz became the province of black. And it was just sort of like, well, we can all enjoy these things, but we need to do our homework. We need to learn where things came from and why things happened. Hey, let's pick another card. It says Irish Irish hornpipes and polkas. All right. I'm gonna play some polkas, and because I miss my good peoples, yo. I miss O'Donohue's, ladies and gentlemen. Our lovely little session that happened every Monday night for decades, 30 years or more. Between the pandemic. No, actually, it's entirely the pandemic. The pandemic killed our session. Yeah, and, to some extent, the government's refusal to pay attention to what might keep the most number of people safe. Anyway, gonna play you the stack of barley and the little stack of wheat, because that great stalwart of regional Irish music, ace concertina player Lenny Sinowitz, brought this set to my attention. I'd been playing the stack of barley forever, but he was like, here, let's play the stack of wheat. And I'm like, oh, the stack of wheat? And I'm pretty sure that name just got put to it because they wanted to follow the stack of barley with it. It is also known as the Union Hornpipe, although there are a number of Union Hornpipes, and Bantry Bay. So here we go. Now that I've talked too much about them, let's see if I can actually remember. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I didn't tell you that they were going to be in G, did I? I'm terrible. I think I need to start drinking some water and less coffee right now, because starting to get that brittle feeling, that brittle, like, oh, what if I don't remember it? Oh, and it screws you up worse than actually screwing up. If you don't know, I live with my parents, and my dad's 81 now, and it's interesting to watch his memory and wonder about the same now that I'm pushing 50. I notice the thing that messes me up the most is being afraid of injury, of sickness, of forgetting things. It's almost as if you tense up for something that's coming, and you bring it on yourself. I feel like he's been very tense about the fact that he's not remembering things, and I'm like, I don't know. It's either there or it ain't, and clenching yourself up is going to keep it out of your hands if it is there. That's a hard thing to try to convey to anybody. So thank you for listening to me try to convey it to myself, because, yeah, I just had that issue in the middle of Bantry Bay. I was like, do I know the next part? Oh, God. I knew it. It just was... I had to keep walking and get around the corner, and there it was. Yeah, sorry. Bear with me there. I needed that. All right. Next card says Blue Ridge. And like I said, I lived there. That was my homeland. I knew where to find ramps, the spring onions that come up in April, or late March if you're lucky, and quick. I'm going to play a tune. I love this. I learned it from, gosh, I don't know if she was a Yankee, but she was a newcomer. Like me, she was an interloper, but she was new to town when I was already somewhat established, and it was just kind of interesting to watch, like, oh, wow, you're learning the tunes for this area. It was funny to learn stuff from her. Like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, you're in the position where I was excited about the newness of everything. And yeah, of course that's interesting and attractive when you've become used to a thing. I wouldn't say jaded, just used to a thing. She learned this from the Stewart brothers in Haywood County, and they are really cool. But Raina Gellert, who I believe the band Uncle Earl is still playing. She's a character from that band. She learned this, put it on an album. I learned it from there, and I probably play it nothing like any of those cats, but there's a fun little hook that the lyric does in the verses. So it's crooked. I mean, it's Cotton Eye Joe, so it's not complicated enough to even really deserve to be called crooked. It's just sort of squirrely. Right? Key G. Well, I got out of bed and I stubbed my toe. Called for the doctor, Cotton Eye Joe. Called for the doctor, Cotton Eye Joe. Corn stick, fiddle, and a shoestring bow. Cornstalk, fiddle, and a shoestring bow. Well, if it hadn't have been for the rain and snow, the roof wouldn't fall on Cotton Eye Joe. The roof wouldn't fall on Cotton Eye Joe. Cornstalk, fiddle, and a shoestring bow, and all he played was a Cotton Eye Joe. Where did you come from, or where did you go? Oh, where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Well, of all the gals that I ever know, none of them would dance with the Cotton Eye Joe. None of them would dance to the Cotton Eye Joe. Cornstalk, fiddle, and a shoestring bow, and all he played was a Cotton Eye Joe. Where did you come from, or where did you go? Where did you come from, a Cotton Eye Joe? Cornstick fiddle, shoestring bow, cornstalk. Did I say maybe I drank a little too much coffee? I think my teeth want to bite all my words off at the ends, like I was sewing with them. What do I got? Ooh. I make the face because it's a genre I love and I want more of, and I don't play. When I lived down south, I didn't really have a lot of call for it, and now I just I need to keep working that repertoire. And so, once again, a tribute to the lovely gentleman I met, and ladies, but this is a gentleman, at Monday night sessions in Nyack. Ian Spence, who had this interesting little klezmer thing going from time to time. Nothing like a Canadian Scottish Jew to bring you interesting tunes. I'm going to play this from music because I just recently found this transcription. It was like, oh, that's a good one. Can I pull it off? It's neat. It's from the repertoire of a clarinet player from Moldava, who came over and sort of wowed the New York klezmer scene because it's hard to find these tunes from a living tradition anymore, mostly because we lost a lot of Jews. This is a tune from German Goldenstein. And let's have a go. It's in D minor-ish, and it does some wild, weird things. I'm going to move my coffee cup so I don't knock it over with my bow, doing swoopy things. kind of got it. Kind of, sort of. I don't even know what that is. Is that a Freilach? Is it a Sirba? I think it's a Sirba. A Bulgar? A Chosidil? Someday I'll sing you a song in Yiddish, but not today. That will take some work. Next card. Oh, Honky Tonk 2. We got Honky Tonk 1. I guess we need to do a later Honky Tonk tune. I want to do... It'll be in C, key of C. Right? So I used to work at the Museum of Television and Radio. This is back in college, and it was a real basic, like standing in a hallway wearing a suit, telling people where to go. I was an usher, essentially. And you weren't supposed to spend your entire shift sneaking into the theaters and watching things, but over time, you kind of watched everything that was getting played. And they had found, someone had uncovered this fabulous recording. It was a closed circuit TV thing. It was like the earliest version of pay-per-view. Your social club would get together and pay the money to watch this, and it was the Rat Pack. It was Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr., who was amazing, and Dean Martin, and they did a big show for a bunch of mobsters, essentially. It was a live black and white, and it was broadcast, and different groups of mobsters across the country, I'm sure they weren't all criminals, paid to see it. It was a charity thing, I think. Yes, it was a charity thing. I'm not mixing it up with one of those Rat Pack movies. Anyway, Rat Pack, Dean Martin sings this. It was the first time I'd ever heard it, and I did not realize it was a country song because, of course, it's Dino, and he's swinging the heck out of it. So I'm going to swing the heck out of it, I think, if I do it right. Send me the pillow that you dream on. Don't you know that I still care for you? Well, send me the pillow that you dream on. So, darling, I can dream on it too. Each night when I'm sleeping oh so lonely, I'll share the love and dreams that once were true. Well, send me the pillow that you dream on. So, darling, I can dream on it too. So long for you to write me. Oh, just the memories all that left of you. Well, send me the pillow that you dream on. So, darling, I can dream on it too. Oh, send me the pillow that you dream on. So, darling, I can dream on it too. Yeah. I think I am supposed to actually sing that entire thing with a glass in my hand because I'm Dean Martin, man. Uh-oh, I'm back to drinking the coffee. Oh, but we're almost through. We're almost done. Yes, I do try to keep these to an hour because, after all, who can stand a full day of fiddling? So this will probably be our last one, and it says Irish Miscellany, and I'm going to play something very miscellaneous. So we talked about polkas, right? How they're not really from Poland. They're from the Czech. The mazurka, however, is from Poland. The Mazurs were a fierce, exotic tribe of Polacks, and a dance associated with them swept Europe. The ballrooms were buzzing. People wanted to dance the mazurka. And the mazurka that we all know, the mazurka that's sort of stuck in folk tradition is, oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. 2, 3. It's waltzy. Like, it sounds like a waltz, but it's not. It's got a bump. It's got a bump in a different spot, right? Anyway, mazurkas made it all the way. They went across the Atlantic. There were mazurkas in Mexico. This is an Irish one. Brought to us by the lady fiddler from Altan. Remember Altan? They may still be around, but I knew of them back in the 90s. Her dad had this crazy repertoire of cool Donegal tunes up in the North Country. Back to the beginning. To C. Back to the beginning. Sorry, I'm running over time, and I felt bad that I didn't tell you beforehand that it's in 3 parts and that the key changes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I will see you next week if all goes according to... I don't have a plan. There's no plan.